What's up guys, Jackson here with Toasty DIY, and today it's a good day because we are building a keyboard from scratch, which is always incredibly fun to me. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you didn't know, on the Toasty DIY channel, the Toasty Bros channel, we have built a good amount of keyboards in the past and in the future. And this keyboard right here was inspired mainly because of these switches that were sent by shoutout Kermit Aquila. He is one of our Twitch live stream watcher regulars, and he also has his own YouTube and Twitch, so go give him a follow. But these are the Epomaker Creamy Jade switches. This pack is super budget. It's 100 pieces of a linear pre-lubed switch from Epomaker, which, by the way, great keyboard brand. We actually have worked with them so many times. We've bought their stuff before. They've sponsored stuff. Regardless of money or not, they've been absolutely great, and I really like their stuff. And then really almost everything else here was actually AliExpress, with the exception of the keycaps, which is kind of the interesting one. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over what all we have here. So first thing is the Epomaker Creamy Jade switches. This is a 100 count that you can buy straight from Amazon for 20 bucks, and they have an actuation force of 45 grams. They are factory lubed. They're standard 5-pin switches for a pretty effortless install that you can either solder or get a hot swap keyboard like I have here today. They are MX structure compatible, so they pretty much fit any keycap that is cherry style. They are premium puck stems with PC/PA66 housings, and they're rated for about 50 million keystrokes. Now next up for our first AliExpress purchase, this is the Zoya Hot Swap Keyboard Kit that also comes with a TFT screen, RGB backplate lighting, gasket structure mounting, and via customizable, so you don't have to download any type of app, and that came in at $48.37 on AliExpress, but I will leave an Amazon affiliate link down below where you can also buy it for just a little bit more. Now next up, some keycaps that I've never used before. XVX Black Jelly keycaps, which are a 108 key kit, but obviously we're not going to be using that many. They're ANSI layout and they're compatible with MX style switches, and those were $20 on Amazon. And then the last thing, just to spice things up, we have a USB-C to USB-A coiled aviator cable. So $7.11 on AliExpress, but you can also buy those on Amazon for just a little bit more. And this is the whole kit right here. It's pretty simple. I will say, you could call this cheating a little bit. This is kind of like your basic hot swap ready to go. There really should not be a whole lot of work with it. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up here. But yeah, we got a, I believe, all black. We did not opt for aluminum. That would have costed a little bit more. And I wanted to take what Kermit told me, which was that he thinks it sounds better inside of a plastic housing. So obviously aluminum always feels better. It's heavier, it's a more premium material, but it does change the sound profile and it can make it more tinny sometimes. So sometimes plastic can actually have better acoustic sounds. It's really just up to the user, honestly. But as you can see, it looks like we do have some type of polycarbonate plate in here. We do have our stabilizers already installed. So this is what I mean by cheating, is I literally just have to pop the switches in and then put my keycaps on, and that's literally it. It's very simple. We have a tiny little TFT display that just says TV. This is a TKL keyboard. So TKL meaning it's 10 keyless, so we still have our full arrow keys off to the side. We still have our basic like insert, print, all that good stuff. We still have a function row, and then we still have a full size layout. We just don't have the 10 key number pad off to the side. Here's our bucket of switches. These are those creamy jades. Nice and quiet, and you can definitely feel that they're pre-lubed. They feel pretty good. Pretty standard actuation force, not super heavy, not super light. Aviator cable, which you can't go wrong with. It spices up any type of keyboard, any type of peripheral really. You basically just get a coiled cable that you'll run to the keyboard, like so, and it connects with this little aviator style connection right here, and then it goes to USB-A. Literally just an aesthetic thing. It does not help with performance whatsoever, but it's a cheap little upgrade to make your setup look that much nicer. And lastly, the XVX keycap set. So this keycap set caught my eye because I normally like to go with kind of unique keycaps. You know, I don't want to go with the same thing over and over again when I'm building a keyboard. These are basically, they're kind of like a resin keycap. I guess they're some sort of double shot, standard cherry style connection or stem, and they almost have like a, I'm gonna call it like a space theme, a glittery space theme. It's very interesting. They don't seem like they'd be too bad, not super slick or anything, but I don't know. I'm curious to see what they look like once they're on this keyboard. I think it's gonna look really sick. Let's go ahead and get to building. I kind of cracked one. You are alone. A down one? Dude, we just clipped on those dudes, brother. So I took this GMK87 home and I gamed on it for the whole night, played Apex Legends, and I gotta say, I really like this keyboard. I can't say that about most of the keyboards that I've built because I'm not a keyboard building expert, but I've built a pretty good amount. I just always come to the same conclusion that building your own keyboard typically costs more than just buying a pre-built one, and you're usually going to get less quality products. As weird as that may sound, it's just a lot of these brands like Yunzi, for example, and Royal Kludge, they have aluminum bodies with switches that sound just like this, that are pre-lubed, really good RGB, really good software, good everything, tri-mode connectivity for like $60 to $80 on Amazon. So it makes building your own, seem pretty unappealing at times, but I gotta say, building this one was fun. It sounds really freaking good, and I really do like these keycaps a lot. Even though they're a little bit on the slicker side, they don't really have much texture to them. As long as your hands aren't like bone dry, you actually have a lot of good grip, surprisingly. And it just sounds really good. And the fact that you can say that you built it with some really nice EPO Maker switches that did not break the bank at all is pretty freaking cool. So if you want to buy any of the parts that I used today, links in the description will be affiliate links, and they will help us out. And yeah, like I said, first keyboard that I built that I think I actually really liked. So see you guys in the next one. Peace out.